In this video, I want to take you guys through the process of creating a design. Now, for many of you just starting out as newbie designers and even entry designers, you're going to be more focused on recreating existing designs. And why would you do this? It's going to enhance your knowledge in regards to few things: typography, colors, the layout, the grid system, and so on. So these are the key things you're going to be focused on while recreating these designs. So I took this screenshot on the desktop, and that's why it's this wide. So don't use this. All right, the size for this is 2024. Imagine 2024. So it's really bad. All right, so one thing you want to do is ensure that you're working with 1440. Now we can start designing. So remember that the width is 1440. And then the next things you want to do is try to recreate the grid. The grid is the next. So for me, I have my grids here and it's hidden using Shift plus G. All right, you can bring that back and bring it on. All right, and then we can check what grid system have they utilized. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We have this design now, so we are going to try to match up what Google has done in their own grid system. The grid system allows you to align things on the left and right proportionally correct. So if I'm going to position two goalposts, what is the probability that those goalposts would be well calculated from the left hand side to the right hand side opposite each other? So if I pass a straight ball that is kicked by an AI from the other post to the other post, what is the probability that it would get to that post and not go through the corner? So that's why you utilize the grid system. So to create a grid system, because some of you may not know, all you need to do is basically come over here. I'm going to remove the one I have. And when you select the frame that you've created, go to the layout grid and just click anywhere. You can click on the plus sign or on the body of the layout grid. Once you've done that, come down here, you're going to see layout grid settings. Click on it and you're going to see grid. Click on it and choose columns. Now, because you're recreating this design, you want to use the grid that this platform uses. And that grid system is what we're going to try to get now. So if I zoom into this, all right, we're going to go to the margin, and then I'm going to hold shift and just press. Why I'm holding shift is because I want this to run 10 times. So you can see that I'm getting the results for 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 120. I'm not getting 201, 202. All right, because if you just use the arrow alone, you're going to get these figures. So our margin for this design is 200. Now we need to get out the gutter. Now the count, not the gutter. The count is how you would be able to get what they've done here. You see this partition here. If we give it a gutter, no matter how we give it a number in the gutter, you would not be able to get it except you've included a count. So we'll go to count and then we'll change it. We'll just change it by one step. And there we have this. Now we can try to reduce the gutter to see if we can get exactly what they have done. And we're going to leave it at 50. We're going to use 50, even though it's not so accurate. You can see some pixels out of the line, but we're going to leave it at 50. I think 50 is much reasonable. All right, so we have this now, and then we can now proceed to creating our text style. You want to ensure that the text style is consistent across everything you will be designing and not just recreating or adding new text styles to the design. This would cause inconsistency in the design and you don't want the developers to fight with you. So first things first, we need to get out the browser built for you. So we're going to type out the full text, the browser, and I'm using Inter. You can use whichever font works for you. So I'm going to use Inter for now, and I'm going to type the browser built for you. Let's reduce that this way, and we'll try to match that up with what they have. So I'll just draw a grid line down here to the top of this T, bring it down a bit. I'm going to grab another one and bring it down this way. Right, that's perfect. The second one, the both of them did not run through, so you need to zoom in and then just take it out of the line. That's how you take it out, so that it's showing also outside of the line. And then we'll do the same for this as well. Right, now we have that, and that is perfect. Now we want to also get out the line height, so we're going to bring another one over here. All right, and that would give us something very perfect. Right, now that we have this, we can now bring this upward a bit. You can also do it inside by moving it on top and just trying to match it up. You can see what I have here. It's 53 and it's almost similar to what they have. So in ours, since we already have a margin, we're going to use 54 for ours, and that would be our hero text size. Now down the line, you're going to find out that we have other text size, like for the discover the latest browser, it looks smaller, so we're going to type discover and we'll try to match that up with what we have in here. So this is going to be H2. We've done H1, which is the hero or header 1. We're going to do the H2. So the H2 is going to be somewhere around 40 to 48. So let's try, I would try 44 and see if that match up well. Right, yes. So we're going to use 44 for the H2. This is going to be for H2. We can change the text, the titles, so we know which ones are H2. This one is H1. All right, we have H3. H3 is the text inside containers within your design. So when you have a text inside a container within your design, it's going to be smaller than the text outside the container. Now remember that we have the H1. The H1 is mostly used once, and it's only used in the hero section. The hero section is the section the user sees when they land on your website. So if I land on this website, the first things I would see would be this title, these CTAs, because they can point me to certain pages or certain search engines or certain things. All right, and then we also have like the download here, which is also a CTA. And then we have images. These are the key things you're going to find in the hero section, aside from the tab, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. All right, so once you have this, you would need the H2. The H2 are the text titles that would contain certain things like about us, the features that the product has, maybe the product section. These titles would be consistent, they won't change. So for titles like discover the latest updates from Chrome, supercharge your browser, make it yours, and extend your experience. Not this one, not extend, the stay, they are going to have the same title as H2. So H2 would always be the same, but H3 is going to be smaller. So in H2 we have 44. So we're going to try to get the one for H3, which is going to be between 30 to about 44 as well. So we're going to come in here and type supercharge. Then we'll try to match that up with what we have in here, not the title. We already have H2. So we would type in create, right? And you can see it's bigger than it. Let's align this to the left. And then we'll try 36. Let's see. Let's try. So I'm using 28. and let's try semi bold for this one. Semi bold 28. So I'm using 28 for this, for those of you following along. And then for the H2, I'm using 44 bold. The H3, I'm using 28. All right, so we have the one for H3, and then we have other ones like subtext inside of this. I don't know what this one is, so we'll try to match that up by typing in search. If you know how to do all these ones, you can skip the video, but if you need my exact calculations to use for your test, then you can watch all of this. All right, so let's try 12. Let's see, we'll make that medium, and let's try 11. All right, so we're going to use 11 for this. I don't know what we're going to call this. Maybe we can call it H4. Right, and we can proceed to check if we have any other headers. We have these ones, which I feel they are not H3, but let's confirm that. Let's confirm their size. So we have customize. Yes, so it's smaller, so this should be around 20. 20 bold. Let's try 22. All right, so we're using 22 for this. This is going to be the H4, and we can call this other one H5. You need to give it those titles so that they'll help you when you're picking, when you're creating the text style, because right now we're in discovering what they've used for theirs. And for this should be the H2 text, but let's see, extend. Okay. This is 36. Let's see, H3 is 28. This is 44. 44, 28, 22, and this is 36. 36. H2 is 44, 36. So this is going to be H3. This is going to be H4. And then we have H5, H6. Right, so we have that, and we have other texts like in between, which would fall under some of the text that we've already created, except for this one that looks quite different, but we would cross-check that while designing. But the rest of it should flow the same way with what we have created already. We're going to do for the body text to be sure about what Google has done. So we're going to try this one first. We're going to say Chrome, just Chrome, align left, and then let's put it at 16 and see. Here, and this is going to be medium. Let's try 14. So 14 worked. It's perfect. Right, so this is going to be B1. That's going to be B1. We have this other one. Let's try to check that as well. This is Len. Yes, B1 as well. we have this pause animation. We're not going to do that one. It's like an animation. So when I took the screenshot, it showed that sign. Let's try this one. Copy that. Like I said, you can skip all of this part. So we have personalize. Yes. This is also B1. Then let's check the CTA, which should most likely be B1 as well. Sign. Alright, this seems smaller. Seems very small. 13. Let me make this semi-bold. Let's try 12. And that is it. So we're going to call this button, but I don't know what button we would call it now, so I'm just going to put button 2. Right, let's check the top if we have a button at the top. We have those guys. Let's figure out their size, which I'm sure be B1. I have that copied, so let's paste it here. It's smaller. Updates. This is going to be 12 and semi-bold. 12 semi-bold. This is going to be B2. And then this other text here, this is going to be need the Chrome. Right, yes, this is still going to be under B2. The first B2 would be B2 bold, and then the other one would be B2, the one beneath. All right, we also have the navigations here, so let's also do this. I'm going to do AI innovations. This is 14, most likely 12 as well. 13. Let's use 13 for this. It's going to be B3. All right, B3 and medium. B3, medium, and you would see how we would use them very shortly. Now we have to pick out the colors. We can fix other text. You can go on and on with the text and just be sure that you've taken note of all the text, but these are the major ones for now, and I don't think we need any extra ones. Let's select all of them and align left, and just move them out a bit. Can select all of them and just bring them closer to each other. Type. Right, and this one as well. Yes, that's perfect. So when we want to create it, it will be much easier. All right, so let's get our colors. The first colors we want to get are the colors for the logo, because we're going to recreate this logo. So we're going to just get our shapes. First circle, second, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 colors. 1, 2, 4, 5. All right, with the eyedropper tool, press I on your keyboard and you can get out the colors by clicking on them. So select your shape, press I, select the color. Select your shape, press I, select the color. Select your shape, press I, select the white. And those are all the colors. You can put them in a frame or in a section. So I'll just go to frame at the top, and then I'll just put them in a frame for now. Give it an outline and remove the fill. This is going to be logo color. Right, so we have the logo color done. Let's place it somewhere around here. Let's hide our grid, our rulers. So we'll hide them for now. We're not removing them, we only hid them. And yeah, so we have this color. We need the color for the cards, so we'll need to duplicate this. Right, and we're going to pick the colors for the card. So these colors, so I'm going to pick this one. This is going to be a blue container, yellow container, and we need this blue, which I think we already have. Yes, we already have the blue, so we don't need it anymore. We're going to get these other colors here, which I feel are different. So for this one, we'll give the background of white, and then this, we're going to pick this color, light purple, something like that. We're going to pick this blue, and then this one. I feel like the colors are different. We can analyze them by checking their color codes. This is ending with FD. This is FD as well, but the full color is F1 F7 FD for this. E0 ED FD. This is different, obviously. And then this is E9 F0 FD. All of them end in FD, but they are not of the same they are not of the same hue. So I'll move this to the top, keep it over here, and then let's get out the other colors. Let's see if we can find any other colors. So we have this, and then for this one we're going to choose, we have this blue, so we're going to choose this dark blue, and I think we have this one. Yes, we have this one. Right, and we have the dark blue. Now let's go to the green zone. We have the green, so we're going to pick out this light green background, and then we don't have this orange, so we'll pick out the orange, eyedropper to click, and then the container for the orange, which is the yellow. We're going to analyze it with the other one and see if they are the same. And then let's pick this one, and I feel like we need to add one more. We're going to put this based on sections, so we're going to pick this one. Right, and then this one can be the light color. You know what, we're going to call this, let's call this color features. Right, and then we're going to have the final colors over here, which is going to be footer. So you can also group the colors like this. I'll show you how you can do that. First, let's get out this soft blue, which I feel we don't have, and then let's get out this dark or that gray. We don't have that one, obviously, and then we'll need this black. The black is 202124. Right, so we got out this one for the footer. This color is this blue, so we'll just leave that blue. We already have the blue, and then we'll just cross check if the black that we took at the footer is the same with other blacks that we have. It's the same. Right, so no need for any other colors. We now have our complete set of colors, and I know you guys are already saying like, let's get into the design, but these are very, very important to get. Right, now that we have this, we can select all of this and just position them and make that 44 in distance. And now it's time, we'll also call this features, maybe features 1, and then this is going to be features 2. Right, so let's create our style guide. Now we've done the frame, we've done the grid system, we've discovered our typography, we've discovered the colors. Now we need to create the style guide. So let's start with the shapes. So we're going to start with H. We have I'm just going to select all of this. Just select this other one that says auto width. Because of this length you're seeing, I want to break it to flow this way without having to do them one at a time. So I'm going to click on the auto width, and it's just going to enclose them. That's what I basically wanted to do. Now I'm going to come down here and click on this. This is to auto align them, and it has auto aligned them perfectly. Now let's just move this and group it better. So you see the tiny pink circle close to it. Just drag it to the position you want, and it's going to align better. For smaller ones, you have to zoom out a bit, and there you go. So I'm just going to realign them. This is button, and that's it. Now with this, we can now start grouping them based on their title. So the first one, which is H1, I'm going to delete what I already have on my file. These are for old projects. So I'm going to click. To do this, select the shape, all right? Select the text, come over here to the text property, click on this style or explore 4 dots over here. It's like an explore for you to explore more settings or more features about this particular property. Click on it, and then you're going to see the plus sign close to it, text styles, then plus sign next to it. Click on the plus sign, and there you can now give it a name. So for this one, we're going to call it H1. We're going to find a name that would work for us. So we cannot call it H1. If we call it H1, then we would have to create the other ones, and then it's going to be hard if we start giving them names like small, big, medium. It's going to be hard to know. So we need to find a general name for it. So we're going to call it header. So the general name would be header, and if you press enter, it's going to create a header text for you. It's going to create a style guide, which is the header text. But now what we want to do is we want to group all of these elements. We have 3 different elements. We have the header, we have the body text, and then we have the button. So we want it to be grouped into 3 categories. We don't want them one at a time. Now I'm going to show you what I mean. So if I press enter, create style, you're going to see it has created the style. And if I click on the board, you're going to find the style guide over here with the header text. All right. Now what we want to do is to group the rest of it. So I'm going to come over to this one, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to type H2 because it's H2, press enter. You're going to see we now have H2. They are not grouped, but what we can do now is we can double tap on this and then put a slash at the end of the header and press H1. Now we have this grouped. We don't need to do it for the second one. We can just easily move it into it, drag it into that frame. Now if I close this frame, you don't see anything except from header. Now from the header group, we can now pick the other ones that we've done. Now if you wanted to create it from the scratch, you can do that. You can just come here, click on the style, click on the plus sign, and then type header, and you ensure that you typed it the same way, the same formatting. You can see the previous header is small letters. If you do a capital letter or you miss a letter, it's going to create a new group. So you want to ensure that it's identical. It works more like your password. So once you type the header, you press a slash. This is what creates the group. Developers know this more than us. So this is what initiates the group. And then we can now type H3. Press enter, and it's going to be stored inside the header. You can see it over there, H3. Now if you've created the first one, you don't want to type so much, you can easily just do the rest of it by clicking on the style plus and just type in H4, press enter, come here, do the same, type in H5, press enter, the last one, which is H6 plus H6, enter. Now all 3 of them are outside, so just select one, hold shift, select the last one, and it will select all of them. If there are 20, it will select all of them. Just ensure you click at the beginning and at the end of what you want to select, and it's going to select all of them without you having to do them one at a time. Now with that, just move it into the header, voila, and it's inside. Now if I close the group, you can see that they are all hidden. Now let's move to the next one. What do? I click All right, style. Okay, what else? Create style. What else? What are we going to call this one? We're going to call it body, and then slash what? B1, because that's the title for it. Create style. We'll go to the next one. We're going to type in, this one is supposed to be B1, and then this one is, let me see the size again, 14, and this is 12. All right, so this is going to be B2. So we're going to come here, do the same thing, and just type in B2. For this one, we're going to type in B2 and then put the bold. So we're going to say B2 bracket bold. And then we have B3, which is supposed to be B2 actually, because it's bigger than B2. But let's leave it at this for now. B3, as long as we know what it's for. You can even go as far as naming it what you want it to be for. You don't need to name it this way. If it's for the nav bar alone, you can say, okay, this one is for the navigation bar. If it's for the button, you can type button. If the header is for hero section alone, you can type in hero. Don't think you have to name it the way I'm naming it. All right, I'm naming it this way because I understand what I've done, and it will work for me this way to remember what I've done. All right, so the button is the last one, and we're going to type in button. Now we don't have multiple buttons, so that one would not have it's not going to have a frame of its own, like a group of its own. So we can select all the B1 and B2 to B3 and move it into its frame. Now we have body, we have header, and then we have button, which is naked, it's outside. All right, now let's move to the next one. Now we don't need all of this, so we're going to select everything and just press delete. Let's move to the colors. We've created the text style. So the colors, this one is for the logos, so we're going to title all of them logo color. All right, you can choose not to title it logo color, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select everything inside of it, and then from here I can just do what I want to do. So I'm just going to create new style, and I'm going to call this, it's going to go to variables. Don't create it as a variable, go to style, and then I'm going to type in logo slash blue. You know what, let's change that logo. We have it down here because I have a lot of color style. Let's move this to the top, I think somewhere around here. Just select all of these and give them a group, add new folder, and just call them untitled. That's how you can also add colors. So we have this logo. I'll send it to the top. I'm going to call it Chrome logo. Perfect. And then let's do the same for the other ones. Now we have the other one, so we're going to type in, remember not to do it in the variable, green, do it in the style. Would have red. It's going to go to variable, click style, and type in red. We have orange or yellow. Let's call it yellow. Someone say yellow. And then we have white, the father of all. All right, with that, select all of them and just drag them into here, and we have the Chrome. All right, that's it. Let's move to features 1. We're going to title this by, let's see, we're going to do this one at a time. This is going to be light purple. I'm typing it there. I'll just copy everything, cut it, go to style and paste it there and press enter. This is going to be blue. We're just going to call this blue 1. I'm going to call this blue 1. This is purple. This is going to be yellow container or light yellow. Let's just use light since we've already started with that code. And then this is going to be blue 2. This is going to be blue 3. And we don't have any Bluetooth. This one, we already have the color, so I'm just going to get rid of it. let's start with this one. We're going to call this one text. Wait, first let us first of all put all of this in a group. So select the first one, select the last one, right click and do add new folder. And then with that, we can now call that it went into the untitled folder, which is wrong. So we'll give that untitled folder a title. We can just call it titled. Right, and then this one, select all of them and it will create a new untitled folder, and we can call that features 1. Move that to the top because we need that at the top, and then we can do the same for this. So this is going to be the footer gray, so we're going to call this footer gray. All right, this is going to be the text color, so say text, you can only say text. This is going to be for the FAQ so that I remember it. So FAQ container, enter. Right, and we're going to select them and we're going to type in add new folder. We're just going to call this footer. We're going to be coming to it a lot, so we'll just put it at the top because of that text color. Now with this, select the frame and we can see all the colors have been imputed. Right, we don't need these ones as well. We already have them in here. You can see all of them have been added. Get rid of that. And then this one is for features 2. We don't have this blue. I think we have this one, but let me be sure. So we're going to go to let's get rid of, there's some colors in the variable, so I'm going to get rid of the variable, delete, yes. All right, so there's some colors we have. We're going to pick the yellow here, break it, select both of them. They are different. This one seems lighter than this one. All right, so we're going to select this one and it's going to be part of features 2, so we're going to call it yellow 2. Right, we'll call this yellow 2. Call this other one yellow 3. All right, we have another yellow here, that's why I'm changing the titles. And then this one is going to be yellow 1. We have this orange, this is going to be orange, this is going to be light green, this is going to be dark blue, and all together when we select it and the end one, right click and add new folder, we're going to call that features 2. Now I know someone is excited, someone has shouted, yay, we're there. Right, we're there. Now it's time for us to create. Let's move this where it's supposed to be. Perfect. Right, so it's time for us to create. And to do this, let's start from the first one. So I'm going to move it out. Let's start from the logo actually. So to create this logo, it's very logical. So I'm going to just draw a circle first. That is going to be for the inner one. Give it a stroke, remove the stroke. And then I'm going to duplicate it, Control D. And you can download this, all right? Feel free to download it, but for me, I'm going to create it afresh. All right, so with this, what I'm going to do now is go into I'm going to get the scale tool, which is over here. Click on the scale tool and then hold Alt and just scale that upward so that it scales at the center. and then we can right click and do frame. All right, select that, select this one, get rid of it, we don't need it anymore because we now have yeah, so we don't need it anymore, but there's a small challenge. So we're going to cut this one, then send this one behind, and then paste it in here. Perfect. Now we have that inside the frame that we have over here. We're going to reduce the size of this frame, and I'm doing that holding Shift Alt and Command. Shift Alt and Command would give you the what I'm doing. Right, I'm just going to reduce it some more, one step, and then let's round the radius. So I'm just going to type in 300. Perfect. Right, with this I'm going to come here where it says clip content, clip that content, and then let's draw. So I'm going to draw from here to somewhere like here, and yeah, we'll just stop it here, go outside, end it here, select this, move it in a bit, select this one, move it in a bit this way. All right. Right, so we have that. With that, we can use this for the rest of them. So we're going to duplicate this. First, let's cut it and put it inside the frame, so we have something clean. All right, so we have this, and then duplicate that, and once we do that, we can rotate it this way over here. All right, and then we can do the last one, duplicate it and rotate it as well over here, and that's somehow perfect. For this one, we're going to increase that stroke, increase it, just that's perfect. Now we're going to get out this color, and with that we can move this to the side, select this and just move it to the side, and we can start splashing those colors on it. So we're going to choose the blue, and the stroke is going to be white. Where is this is footer gray, our white is far away, so we'll go back to, let's go back to our color, and then for the chrome we're going to move the white to the top. You know what, we're going to move it into the footer because we're going to be using white and text a lot, so you can move it from one group to another. I just did that, and then with that we'll select this one, which is going to be the red, and we'll pick that red, remove the stroke from it, select this one, give it that yellow, and then remove the stroke, and then this other one. So let's send this down, select this, send this down. We're going to fix that shortly, so let's do for this first. We'll give this green and then remove this. This green is going to be down. Why is this green this way? Wait, let me see something. Okay, there's an issue here, so we'll have to fix that. Right, so somewhere around here, and then this one. Somewhere around here, down. This one, we're going to rotate this one this way. All right, let's This one is going to be at the top. At the top. This one is going to be at the top of this one. It's complicated, but we can achieve it. Stand first. So I'm going to double click. I'll try to create new pins for this. So from here to here, and then we'll try to delete this ones. Let me see. Okay, yes, we achieved that the hard way. All right, so we have our logo, and we can remove the stroke from this. We don't need that stroke anymore. All right, so let's get back to business. Now we need to resize this to see the size, so we'll take that, bring it down, bring it into our frame, give it a stroke so we can see what we're doing, and then with the scale tool we can scale it upwards this way. And this size is, we're going to use a fair number, so we're going to use 30. Yes, 30 works. And then we'll just leave that over there. Let's bring this back into our frame, center that, send that to the back, and then we can type in our first text, which is the browser built for to be yours. All right, and remember what text we're using, H1, and then we'll break this, center it, turn on our grid. Right, so this is going to run from grid to grid, so put it on this grid, and it's going to be on this grid as well. I know it's not giving us what it's supposed to give, so we can edit this, go into our grid, and let's make that 53. And then we'll give it a small height. Let's use pixels for the height. So we're going to type in px, and then this is going to be 53. Let's do 68. Yes, 68 in height, line height, and then we have this. All right. If you've used it before for other text, it's going to affect every other text. So ensure you're doing it the first time, you correct it the first time, and don't do that again. If not, you would have an issue with the rest of it. Right, let's do this. This is going to run from edge to edge. You can see our grid. So we'll do that as well. And then we can move that into position. Right, so we're just laying text for now. For these images, we're going to use shapes. So you use your frame, click F to get your frame tool, or you can click on the frame tool and then draw from end to end. Right, and then I think this radius will be like 8. Let's give it a stroke and see. 8 is too much. Let's try 4. Yes, that's fine. We'll give it a gray. We have a gray, so let's choose our gray. It's in the footer gray, so we'll use that. right? And we can do that for these other guys as well. We can just create ours different, right? So we have that. Let's do this other guys. Bring this downwards. I'm going to type need the Chrome installer question mark, and this is going to be B, I think B2 or B3. No, that was B. Was that B3? No. That wasn't. That was like B2. Yes, so it's B2. Well, B2 is kind of bold. So this is semi-bold. Let's make that medium. Then this one is semi-bold. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so would also type in download. If we type in download here, we would have to break the font. We'll have to break the font. We'll have to remove it from this to be able to get this one. But we won't have to break the font. Sorry. Let's do this. We won't have to break the font actually. It's when you give it like an underline, then you have to break the font. So we'll just put a full stop. We won't put the full stop at the end. We're just going to leave it this way. And then we're going to choose the colors. So for this one, it's going to be the blue. So we'll select that and we're going to choose that blue. That blue would be used a lot. So let's move it to the top. So if we click out, we'll go to Chrome, colors, and then we'll move it to the top. The yellow as well was used more, and then we'll leave the other two because they are more like alert colors. The green and red are more like alert colors, and that's why you cannot see it a lot on this design. Right, we'll move this into place. We have something that looks more like a gray, but for now we'll just leave this. That is centered and that's perfect. We're going to do this other one, but we're going to do something different. We're not going to use the drop shadow that they have used. We're going to break this. To break this, you know, we can't see that setting, the auto width anymore. To break it to just conform, to hug the content, all you need to do is just double tap at the right hand side of the frame. In between it, just double tap and it will break it. And so we have the updates, and then we're going to have AI, yeah, and we're going to have yours, and we can put all three of these in auto layout. So select all three of them, go to auto layout and click auto layout, align center, and that's perfect. Now we can just adjust it a bit. It's 33, an odd number. Let's give it 34. What's happening there? Select all of this. Okay, I think I know what's happening. Let's move this out first, bring it back in here, and let's try to increase that again. Let's see. Let's see what's happening in our settings. So let's break that. We'll do that again. Auto layout added. Right. right, so you add all the text and then you can align it better. We're going to press enter and then we're going to press enter to select all of it. Then we're going to choose the bolder version. Yes, and we have this. We're going to reduce the spacing a bit by 1. That's perfect. And then let's pad this to the end. So I'm just going to drag the end this way and then center everything, and then we can give it, ensure you constrain it to the center. Once you do that, it's going to, once you increase the line height of the auto layout, that's the vertical padding, you're going to see that the text and everything remains at the center. So we're just going to increase it to somewhere around 16, which is fine in my eyes, and then we can completely round this radius. So we're going to make that 200, and that's fine. Give it a stroke, a fill color, which is white. For now, we're just building the system, so we're going to leave everything this way for now, and we're done with that hero section. Let's move that out and see what we have. So we have something coming along well. Let's work on the top. So I'm just going to grab all of this, bring it up here, align it this way. So we want to work on the navigation. So I'm going to change this to AI innovation. AI innovation. You can press tab on your keyboard, the tab sign or tab on your keyboard, and you move to the next text instead of having to click on it. I'm going to press that again, and I'm going to type in safety. I'll press tab again. I'm going to type in by Google. I'm not supposed to do that because we already have that in the flow, but no problem. And then I'm going to type in extensions, and then we can get rid of by Google. Select this, and we're going to remove the vertical padding and the horizontal padding as well. We'll remove the radius, make that 0, remove the stroke, remove the fill, and then for this we're going to make it, change it from fixed at the top, which is the width, to hog content. All right, and then it can align this way, and we can now move that upward. Now if we select all of this text, we're going to change it to the navigation text, which is 13. Yes, this is supposed to be innovations, and this is going to be align left and align top. Put it in here. We like that. We can see this small nudge here for extensions. So to get that out, we're going to have to do, we can do two things. One is either we use the arrow inside of Framer. Inside of Figma, we have this arrow in the tools. You can click from here and drag it upward. If we change that to black text, you can see what we have. You can even make that smaller, right, and change it from rounded to sharp. So it's going to be sharp, solid. This is going to be sharp. Yes, we can use this, but the best bet is to use a plugin. So I'm going to use the Google Material Symbols plugin. I'm going to come up here, and we have this. So we need it to be sharp. You can see it's sharp, it's 4 corner, and then we're going to type in arrow. So you leave it at outlined instead of rounded, so it's going to be outlined, and then we'll see arrow over here and see if we can find that. Look at it over here. So you click, you have it in your board, you have it this way, and then you can move it, just move it outside and bring it back inside. But now we need it to be smaller, so we're going to try something like 16 by going to the width and height. Just type 16. I think that's still big. Let's try 12. Press enter and then move it into our frame, and that works. So we're going to select these two now. This is selected already, so the next thing you need to do is select the extension and then hit auto layout. Now once you have this, you can now change the distance between them. So the distance for me is going to be 8. Let's try 4. And then we're going to select the extension and just use the navigation key on your keyboard, press the left, and it will just switch position. And that's that, right? We now have this. And then we can change the distance between them. So the distance in this ones, I don't think it's so much. So I'm just going to draw a shape outside to determine the distance. So the distance between this and this is 20. All right, so we're going to select this. The distance is 34. We're going to change that to 20, and there we have it. All right, this is perfect. Now we can now move that upward where it's supposed to be, and then we're going to get out the Chrome text. All right, so instead of typing Chrome, I'm just going to leave that, and I'll select both of them, and I'll put them in what? An auto layout. So click auto layout, and then on auto layout, ensure they are aligned to the center, because if they are aligned top, this is going to look really disfigured. So align center. And then what we can now do is, for me, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this entire thing inside of the frame. All right. And then I'm going to also do the same this way. I'm actually going to move this way, then align left. All right. Now that we have this, we can now, I'll hold shift and align it this way. Yes, that way it runs end to end. All right, and then I'll move this one to the end. Yes, that's what I was aiming at. And then we're going to constrain it again to the left, center, 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 center in the constraints, and then we can now give it a padding. Remember, our padding was 200, so we're going to give it a horizontal padding of 200. The 200 is a calculation from this point to this first margin. So you type in 200 and we have that. Perfect. Done. All right, we're going to give it a padding for the height. I don't know how many that would be, but let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so that will be 8. We can now type in the padding 8. Bam, and that's correct. You can see it's touching the top, and then we can give it a fill color of white. And that's that. Now we can move out this one. We don't need this one anymore for now. We don't need it anymore. We're just going to leave all these lines on these objects because we're going to redefine them very soon. Now this does not look really cool the way it is. It doesn't really look cool this way. So I'm going to introduce a button. So I'm just going to drag this to this point, and I'm going to type in download app. All right, with that, we can now hold Shift plus A to create an auto layout of this button, because we want it to be a button, and then we're going to give it a padding of 20, horizontal padding, and then line height, I think I would do somewhere around 8. Okay, and then let's give it an outline to see how that looks like, and completely round that radius. All right, with this, we'll align top. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select this one because we want this to position better. All right, we don't want it to position this way. So just select everything actually. And then you come up here where we have this 134, which is a horizontal gap between items. You're going to click on the drop down next to it and choose auto. Now auto is going to space everything evenly. So the distance between here and here are going to be the same. All right, if we click here, you're going to see it's auto, so it doesn't have like an actual distance, and here as well is auto, meaning they are both equal. This is going to be at the center, and then this is going to be where it is. I think I would use a color like blue, but for now let's just give it a footer gray. We're going to come back to colors, but let's see what we've done so far. So this is what we have. We're going to move this over to this part. You're going to be hearing a lot of we're gonna. Right, I'm not staying abroad. All right, so we have this, and this is looking good so far. For this one, I'm going to change it to the button. We have a button. Yes, perfect. That is perfect. All right, so let's proceed to the next phase. Now we have this guy, and this is going to be in a section of its own. We already have these guys in their own sections at the top, but not really in a section yet. But I like to sectionize my design. So I'm going to grab the frame 2, and then let's draw a frame to the top somewhere around here. Now with that, you will find out that this square or these rectangles, the last two at the edges, would not be inside of the frame. All right, and that is not what we want to achieve. So we're going to have to find them in our layer. So I'm going to grab this, then let me hide some of this, and then with this one selected, which is a frame. So let's title our frame first. We have this frame and we're going to call it hero section. All right, and then we have this frame. We're going to call it shape M, which is going to be like shape middle. This is going to be shape left and shape right. All right, now we have these two. We're going to move them to the top, and then we have the hero section, and then we can move them into the hero section. This one is what we'll just call CTA, and then this one is going to be logo. Remember to title your things so that you know them. This is going to be nav. This one is going to be logo. This one is going to be text, and then this one is going to be button. Right, now we have all of this well structured the way we want it. The hero section is ready, all right, and it's ready for development. So let's give it a color. We're going to give it white and give it a stroke of the text style. Now for all the black, we're going to change that to text, and then for all the white, we're going to change that to white, and the blue, we're going to change that to blue, and we have all of them in the color style. All right, to choose a color style, I didn't show you that. Just select what you want to choose as a color style. I'm going to break this on link. You're going to see the link here, detach style. All right, so now it's always going to be this way. To choose the colors that you've initially chose or created, come over here the same way you would add them, click there, and you're going to find the colors here. You're also still going to find the plus sign at the top. So for this one, we want to choose the text, and that's how you can choose for the rest of them. Right, for all of these shapes, I'm going to use 8. I don't fancy the 4. I'm not saying Google did not do the best work. Don't get me wrong. They are obviously the best. All right, so we have this now. Let's get to these guys. So we're just going to grab this text. But first off, let's put these both elements. If we select the 3, they are inconsistent. That means they are not the same spacing. So we're just going to select this and the title, the logo, put that in auto layout. Select this and this, put it in auto layout. They are 2 different elements, and then we can select both of them and put them in auto layout. Now they are perfect. All right, we're going to call this hero text. We press enter. We're going to have the top section, which is going to be text plus logo, and then this one is going to be CTA or CTAs, anyone. All right, so we have that. Let's proceed to this one. I'm going to select this, bring this downwards. All right, and let's type our text, discover the latest and we're going to have updates from Chrome. But now we're going to do this in a very different way. So this is what we're going to do. First off, let's get at our H2. All right, that is the first text at the top. Yes. All right, so we have this covered, and then we'll drag this down. We're going to type in updates, double tap here to break that, spread this, and we're going to type in from Chrome. Now the update has a slimmer font weight, so we would break this, and we're going to call this H2 small. So H2 slash, or just put in brackets, small, bracket close. And then if we select this H2, we can edit it to conform with this one. So it's in bold. You can try to use semi bold, and let's try medium. I think it's on the medium side, so we're going to leave it at medium. And first things first, I want to do is to move that H2 into the header and then move it under H2. Perfect. All right, now that we have this, we can now select this guy. He's over here and he feels a bit smaller. It's a bit smaller, so we can edit that as well because it's going to be used on some other features as well. Let's bring this to the center, and then this is what we would use to know when it has gotten to where it's supposed to be. So with this, we can now reduce the height, I mean the weight, the size. It's aligned center, so let's align that first here. All right, and then let's continue with what we were doing. It's remaining just, I think, one. Yes, we can leave it at 40. So I'm using 40 and medium for this one, and then we can move it into place, and then this one as well into place. I think this H2 is quite big, so watch what will happen. I'm not selecting anything. Okay, I'll just select one, but if I click on the H2, edit, and I change it from bold to semi-bold, you see it affects every other thing. And that's what we want to do. And I like that that happened. Yes, this is much better. Select this one and this one. We're going to select these two and put them in auto layout. Now with that, we can select this one alone and put it in auto layout. All right, it's in auto layout now. Let's give it a stroke first so that you can see that it's an auto layout. And then we can move it into here, constrain left and center, and then we can select this one and then give it a padding. Let's use 6, and then for this one, this is 24. All right, and then the distance would be smaller. Let's constrain this to the left, then try that again. Yes, I'm using 10. Right, so that worked. And now we're going to choose, so this one will be here. We'll constrain it to the right hand side, and then let's get out this icon. So we're going to go to material symbols, and we're using the outlined. We're going to type in clock. Let's see if we can find this clock, and I think it's something like this, although this is facing the other way. So let's see if we can find this exact one. Yes, we have it, and that's why it's good to use the material symbol for this. I intentionally used it because I wanted to get precise icons. So for this icon, I think it's around 36, if I'm not mistaken. This should be it. Yes, 36 is fine. You can now drag it into this other auto layout, and then we can give that a fill color. We're going to choose the gray, all right, and then completely round that radius. Now the both of them will be centered aligned, and I can sense some issues with this text. We can fix that. Go in here and let's see what we can do. This is, change that to 60 px. Let's see, px. Okay, let's see what we have. It's the same, but it feels off, but it's the same. All right, so we have that. Select it with this one and put that in auto layout. So we have both of them in auto layout. We can reduce the height of this frame to have that clean design at the top. And this is where we're going to introduce our grid. So let's bring back our grid. All right, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to draw a frame. So draw a frame end to end. So it's a fixed frame. Give it a stroke. And then let's say this is 16. Okay, so we're using 20 for the radius. And then we can do the rest of the activities. So we have updates, which is going to be in all caps. And this is H6, yes. And we have updates. We have automatic updates, right? And this is going to be H3, yes, H3, yes, and in bold. Perfect. Bring this one down here. Perfect. And then we'll have this other text, which is going to be, there's a new Chrome release every 4 weeks, making it easy to have the newest features and faster, safer web browser, full stop. Right, so we have this. We're going to give it B1. Yes, that's what we want. And then we need to make the adjustment. You can see the adjustment in the line height. So we would increase that. Let's remove this from percentage to pixels, and we'll change that to 22. Yes, 22 is perfect. Let's try, yeah, let me leave it at 22 and move this slightly upward. Yes, and that is perfect. We're going to do it for the last one, and then we'll just reuse this across every other screen that has text. You can type in yours, but I won't type in after this one. Right, so this one is going to be blue. Perfect. This it's not the same, so we're going to select this one, and this one, and try that. It's not the same as well. The distance between this one and this one is 13, and the distance between this one and this one is 17, which I'm going to change to 16. So I'm going to select this 2 and give it 16, and the distance between these two is 13. I'm going to change that to 14. All right, and then we have this and this to contend with, which I'm going to break this one first. Select these two, put them in auto layout. That's 16, perfect. 16, 16, 14 in distance between the both of them, and that is perfect. Right, so with this done, we can now have a shape in here, because we want this to be in auto layout. So I'm going to create a frame in here. Yes, it's going to run end to end, and then inside of this frame we're going to draw a shape. So that's the trick. We draw a shape, and then we're going to use 10 for this shape in radius. Zoom out and drag that out a bit. This is going to be footer gray, and then we can reduce that size a bit. The down part is not going to be the way it is, so we are going to go up here. Instead of using 10 for that radius, you can either hold Alt. If you hold Alt and drag it down, you would have this, what I've done. If you hold Alt and drag that point down, you will see that the other ones are still, let's give it a stroke so that you can see it clearly. These ones are still rounded, but you can also do it from here if you want to. If you're the type of person that likes stress, you can do it from here. Click on the independent corners at the top of the radius, and then you can change it here, like the left hand side is going to be 0 as well. Or if you're the type that like it fast, you can just easily do that directly from here holding Alt. We're going to do the same for this one, but I'm not going to go through that stress. So I'll just hold Alt and just move it up. And this one, I did not hold Alt. Yeah, so not Alt, Command, sorry. On my keyboard, I'm seeing Alt. I'm so sorry. Command, not Alt. I'm using a mixed keyboard, sorry. So you would hold Command and then you do that, and it's going to round that completely for you, whichever way you want it. Right, we have this. This is going to be white. And then we would now select this, and we'll put them in an auto layout frame. All right, we now have them in auto layout, but these ones are not positioned the way they should be yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it a fill container. All right, and then we're going to reduce the horizontal padding. So that is where we fix this dude. First off, let's select this and give it a fixed width first. All right, then select this guy and then give him that padding that he deserves. So we're using 50. We're going to give it that, leave it at 50. And then with this, we can fully utilize our what's it called? Our auto layout. So I'm going to break the initial frame that we created by pressing Shift, Command and G. Right, that's Control Shift plus G. I'm getting used to using Command, so whichever one works for you. If you're using a MacBook, it's going to be Command plus Shift plus G to break the auto layout. So I'm going to give this a frame so that we can see what we're doing. Now the down part is aligned. We want to align the top. So what I'm going to do now is simply selecting this part. You see the individual padding, click on it, and then I'm going to click on the top one, and then the top is what we want to align. So we want to increase the height of this, but if we do this, you would see that the down part will be moving, and that's not what we want. We want the up part to only move. We don't want the down parts to move. So to do this, we'll need to constrain this to the bottom. So you're going to come to the down part here, and you're going to click on the bottom. So it's going to show you bottom and then align left. I mean left, constrained, and bottom. So if you want it to be at the center as well, you can also do that. Whichever one would work. If you want it to be at the right, but ensure that this down part is constrained to the bottom. And then with that, you can now work your magic. Right, and we're going to leave it at 36. Okay, and with that, we're going to have a gray background, or let's leave that as white. And remember our radius, I think our radius was 20. Yes, and so we have that. Now we can even remove the stroke from the first frame that is holding this other frame, and that's how we're able to get that frame. You can see that frame cutting out the way it is. Okay, well, let's just bring it back. Yes, for now. All right, we're going to do the same thing for this one. It's going to be the same process. So I'm just going to move this aside, and we have this circle, which is going to be our logo. Since we have a logo already, one visual will not bite. So we can increase this to conform with what we have here, reduce it this way. Right, that's perfect. And then we can move it into this frame. Select this one, get rid of it. We don't need it anymore. We'll move this in, select the frame, and just lap it there. Yes. Don't know why this was put to one corner, but I'm going to put it this way. Let's try Alt to see the spacing. So if you want to see the spacing between the left from the logo to the border, you just hold Alt and you're going to see it. It's showing. So select the object and then try to move close to the borders. and you see it, even though you don't move close. But if you move out of the border, it's going to give you the distance of the outer one. So we have this as 41 and the down part as 40. So we're just going to select it and move it right one step, and hold Alt again. You're going to see 40 and 40, and that's perfect to me. All right, based on where they kept their own. If not, I will make both the top and the down the same, but let's leave it this way. Now we're done with that part. We can now select this guy, enlarge him, and just move it out of our view. We have this now sorted. We're going to come back to, let's clip content. You can see why this was showing is because we don't have clip content turned on. So select both of them and do clip content, and then they'll be fully rounded. Now we have that. Let's see what we have done so far. This is going to be a long video, but I hope you guys stay to the end. All right, so we have this right now. Going to select this line outside, and yes. Okay, that is looking good so far, right? And this one has a little arrow close to it, so you can use the pattern that we used for this one. You can use the same method, or you can copy this. I can actually just copy that, bring it in here, paste it in here, and then check out the text. This is B1, this is going to be B1 as well, then this is going to be blue. I'll get rid of this, and this is also going to be blue, and I will just copy this text, paste it in here, and that's that. Easy. You can change the distance between both of them, and then change the titles and all of that. Okay, so let's move to the next one. We're going to select this, bring it down here. All right, and this time we're going to type this one. Actually, type supercharge your browser. Right, this time we would have to, okay, spread it, fill container, select this, move it out a bit. Yes, that won't bite, it won't bite. All right, and then for this one we're going to duplicate it 2 times, so left and right, send one to the left hand side, double click, type in width, inside here type in AI, and this one would be built right in. Right, we have this sorted, and we can move to the next one, which is this one. This one is quite different, but it's the same. So let's get out our arrow or ruler. So if we get our ruler and we place it here, you can see that the distance or the margins are the same. They are the same. All we just need to do is ensure that we play with this card. All right, so what they've done here is the card at the top is the same height with what we have at the bottom. Very tricky, right? So what we're going to do is very simple. We'll just get out one of our card, duplicate that, holding Alt, drag that down, holding Shift, and then we can try to match this up. So let's first of all type in create a team that's uniquely yours. I think this was smaller, so we're going to try H4. Yes, that worked. Okay, let's see this. This is 50. Yes, so this is going to be fill container. Press enter and do that fill container again. Yes, and that's perfect. Perfect. And then we have the generative teams. Let's just type that general. Right, and then we don't have subtitles and this one. You see we grouped this one, so we just press delete. Yep, that was bound to happen. And then we'll move this to the top, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to use it for this instead. So for this one, we're going to get rid of this, and then this would become the space. You can see the space for this stuff is exactly where it is. So we need this. I know some of us did not see this. So we're going to go up here to material symbol, and we're going to choose add. Type in add. You're going to find add. And then what we're going to do next is try to get this shape. So while drawing your frame, hold shift so you can get it equal. And then we're going to give it a stroke. If you move it in, you're going to see that it's perfect. It's actually perfect. It's 45. Let's make that 46. You know what? Let's make that 44 because 44 is mostly used. And then we'll give this 200 in radius to get a perfect circle. All right, and then we can move our guy inside. And that's that. Right, that's that. Now let's get rid of this material symbol stuff. And then we'll move this sign into this. So whatever is the bottom one, let's try to get this bottom. Yes. Select this. This is 69. Let's make that 68. Let me see. Okay, I saw what happened there. It's constrained at the bottom, so let's constrain it at the top. All right, and reduce that 1, 2, 3, 66. Perfect. All right, with that we have this guy. Let's send him back to where he was before, and then move him in. And with this, how we can check out what it's supposed to be on the right hand side, you obviously know, hold Alt. This is 20 and this is 21, so we'll send that left at a bit, and that's accurate. Perfect. Select this, and we're going to move it to this point. They thought we were going to use it for this one. So we're going to duplicate this. All right, and the distance between both of them is 36. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to select this, and we're going to increase not the padding actually. We're going to increase this frame. Yes, this way. Perfect. And then that is going to be the frame for the design. Now we have that perfect. Right, that's it. So with this done, we can now select these two and do an auto layout, and then we'll do vertical alignment. And with that, we can change that. We know it's 36, so we'll do 36. All right, that's perfect. And then we can duplicate it to the right, select the top one and press down. 2 seconds, or super fast. All right, so we have this. So this would be the part for the image. All of these parts are going to be the parts for the image, and it's a frame, so it's easy for us to add our images inside of the frame, whatever image it is, and then we can now hide the grid. We can remove the color from the frame, and you can see how clean it looks. All right, so we have done the second part. This is going to also move out, and this is like a skeleton of our grid. We're going to hide the rulers. We're not removing them, but we're just hiding them for now. And then we're going to grab this one and duplicate it. So for this, we'll send this one to the top, select it, press up on your navigation key, and then we're going to type make it, and obviously this is going to be yours, and take it with you. Right, so we have this. Now we need this illustration, which I doubt would find here, but let's do this. We're going to change the fill to on, and then we'll search for, and we're going to change it to rounded, and we'll search for paint. Let's see. Wow, we found it. Not so similar, but we can use it, you know. So this is what we're going to do. Close this out. Now inside of this frame, I'm going to draw something. I'm going to come here and draw something like this, move it out, and I'm actually going to move it into this frame. So cut it and paste it inside this frame. And yes, that's what we want to achieve. And then I'm going to stretch it this way and send to the back, not that way. But first things first, let's increase the size. So this is 36, so this is going to be 36 as well. And then we'll move it into this. Select this one, get rid of him, we don't need him anymore. Select this guy, break him this way, and then we'll send that to the back. Not really that way, just one step to the back. Yes, and we can see it's enlarged. We're going to select the frame. Right, let's open up our layers, click on this, select this, this. We're trying to get something here, so I'm going to right click on this and frame selection. I'm trying to achieve something here, so with that I'll select this guy and ungroup. Yes, let me see. All right, let me see. This is the general button, and then this is the icon. If I hide this, exactly. So that's what we're trying to achieve. So we want this beneath it, and that's what we use to get this. Now we can enclose it one step, holding Alt. You can enlarge it or reduce it proportionally from both ends, and that's what we want. Even though we extend this, oh, the frame, no wonder. So select this frame and do clip content, and that's it. So it's now inside the frame and it's yours. So we're going to bring this downwards over here. That was a tricky one. And then this is the easiest part, obviously. So let's hide our sidebar. If you don't know how I'm doing that, I'm doing that by holding Shift, Command or Control, and then the slash after the brackets next to letter P on your keyboard. All right, so we're going to hold Shift and G, bring back our grid. And then for this one, I'm going to run it from grid to grid. So it's going to be somewhere around here. If you visited the real site, you're going to see that this runs, this creates an animation while on scroll. I'm going to change the height to 422, give that a stroke, and then give that a radius of 20, of 10. Let's use 10. And then we'll give that our grid. Right, so we've not put these guys in a grid. We're going to in a frame. I'm going to draw the frame right now and put that in a frame. They are now in a frame. Perfect. All right, we can now give the frame a stroke, and I think these guys as well are not in a frame, so let's put that in a frame as well. They're now in a frame, and then give that a stroke. I'll also give it a fill so it's easier to select when you want to select it. Yes, that's perfect. All right, with that, I'm going to move this guy out of our frame, and then this guy is going to run end to end as well. Yes, this way, and that's 550. Correct. Frame 10, and this is like what transforms from this smaller one into this one on scroll. So I'm going to select this one and this one, put it in auto layout, and this one auto layout, and let's move this out. We don't need that anymore. We're going to give this a frame white, and then we'll give it a general frame for all of it. Yes, and that is going to have a stroke black and a fill white. All right, so if you see what we have here, we have a frame, 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 frame. Those are going to be sections, and we have just few more to go. All right, so let's hide this for now. Bring it back. Let's get this one. This is a perfect square. Yes, it's a perfect square. So I'm going to put it there, give it a stroke. The square, the perfect square is 495. That is the width and the height. Right, so we have a stroke, and then the radius is going to be 20, and then we have this text by the side. So let's grab our text. Just grab one text from here. Holding Control, you can select any text of your choice, and then we'll just bring it over here. Right, so this is going to be customized. Customize your Chrome. Let's position it over here, and then this is the point where I'm going to bring out, change our grid layout. The count, I'm going to change the count from 6 to 12. Yes, perfect. So you can see why I change it from 6 to 12. That's because I want to be able to draw this line as well, and I want it to conform with the grid that we've started with. So we have this. We're going to choose the 5, I think. Constraint to the right, left, and let's see. Yes, that's perfect. We're going to draw this line. To draw that line is simple. Just draw a shape, right? And we're using 3. So the width of that shape is 3, and then we can draw that downwards. 156. Let's give that a color. We're just going to give it black for now. And then this one is going to be positioned here on our grid. Then we're going to bring this down and just type in personalize your web browser. I hope people say this was written by GBT. All right, so we're going to go up to B1. That is what we're going to be using. And then we'll extend it to this point. Then we can type in the rest of the text. With themes, dark mode, and other options built just for you. Built just for you. Full stop. Perfect. We can go and reuse what we created before. We'll just grab this, copy that. We can even grab everything, you know, just to get the perfect spacing. All right, and paste it here. This is over here. We're going to reduce this to form here, and this is going to be fill container, so it fills up the container. We're going to copy this and paste it in here, and with that we can move that, select this, delete it, move that upwards. Yeah, and that's perfect. I think this was explore themes. Perfect. I love when something is perfect. Select the both of them, put them in auto layout. The spacing is 9. I'm going to change that to 8. Yes, and then select this and put it in auto layouts, which I thought as much. So that will be centered. All right, and we have that as this. We are going to have other ones as well. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to select this because we want it to conform with our shapes. So I'm going to hide the grid for now so you understand what I want to do. Now I want this shape to conform with our text, like the height of our text all the time. So when it's smaller like this, it's also going to be smaller. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to select it and we'll come to the height and we'll do fill container. Now it fills up the container and it's the same height with this container. So the text for this container is 139 and the height for this also is 139, and that's what we're aiming at. Now this is where the magic happens. So if I move it somewhere here so you can see it clearly, if I deselect these two because they're not going to be with their content, they're going to be in a auto scroll state. So when it scrolls to the browse across devices, then it becomes blue and it shows its details or content, and then the other one goes back to its default state, which is just the title state. So we're going to select this and just press delete, and you see what happened. This follows the same height of it. And I understand you guys would feel like, oh, this one is longer. You can do that as well. So we're going to select this and give it a padding, like let's say 10. Yes, 10 should be fine. And then we would also do the same padding here. We'll give that 10, and you can see it's perfect. All right, so this one exposes this one. So we're going to change that from 10. So maybe 6. Let's try 6. Yeah, 6 is fine. We'll move that in here. All right, and then bring the last one here. Select all 3 of them and put them in an auto layout. And the spacing between them is 32. And that's perfect. That's honestly perfect. Now we'll select this hyperlink. We call this a hyperlink. Many people call it a tertiary button as well. I call it a hyperlink and also a tertiary button. I'm going to type in sign in to get started. And that's why the words were spread apart. All right, and then this one, we're going to change it from B1 to B2. No, let's try the button. We have a button. Yes, and then we'll change the space between them to like 8. Yeah, that should be cool. I think this button is too bold, so we'll change it from bold, semi-bold to medium. Yeah, looks better. All right, position that there, and then we can give it a padding. All right, constrain it center and center. Remember that. Give it a stroke, and then we can work on the padding. You can see the padding on the other side is longer and is intentional actually. And then let's give it a roundness. Let's see. There's enough room for it to breathe. The reason why the padding here is longer is because this arrow or the icon has a padding. So most times we include the padding to the side of the icon to create a balance. If you look at it this way, sometimes it may not look balanced until you increase that spacing on the right. Right, so that's the reason. But for mine, I'm just going to leave it this way. Select both of them, put them in auto layout, and that is done. Now we have that done. We can move that out of our view. Outside, select this, give it a gray, and then we can do for this guy. So we'll bring back our grid, and this time it's going to be a different size altogether. I think this is H5. Let's try H4. It's going to be bigger actually. Extend your experience, but let's fix this first. Know if it's H3. Yes, and then let's extend as the text implies experience. All right, we have this sorted, and then we can grab this text for this, and then we can grab this CTA. And change the text to explore extensions. Yes, that is cool. Bring that into focus. One step downwards. This is 38, 39. Okay, do we have any other one at the top? No one. Right, select these two, put them in auto layout. Select this one, put them in auto layout, and then we can do the same for this one. I know you find all of these flipping out. We can do that easily. All we need to do is draw a frame from here to the end. All right, something like this. We'll extend the one for the top as well. All right, extend it downwards as well, and then we can draw the inner one, another frame inside, and let's give that 10 stroke. Then the outer one is going to have a stroke. All right, the inner one now is going to have a fill, the gray fill. Center it inside horizontally and vertically. I'm going to do it this way, and then this one is going to have, it's not going to have a stroke, so it feels like everything is flying, but they are not. So if we select these two, we can put both of them in auto layout. All right, select this one and this one, put them in auto layout. That's perfect. And then we can select this two and put them in auto layout, and that's honestly perfect. Perfect. Okay, now we have this. We're done with this section. Send that to the bottom so we can move this out of the way. Yes, I know, right? So let's move that this way and reduce this one. Now we can draw a frame to select all of those ones that we've done. And then we can give it the white and the stroke. All right, that's perfect. Now up to the next one. This one, same thing. So grab this, duplicate it, bring it over here, can move it to the side and type stay safe while you browse. Yes, and that's it. Now let's grab our icon. We're going to use fill on, and then we'll type safe. We might not find this type. It feels more customized, like a sheet and a search bar, like a magnifying glass. So let's try to find let's say sheet. Oh, that's crazy. So we found it. Then we'll type in our 36 and then move it into our frame. Select this one, get rid of it, and that's that. Perfect. All right, center that and that's perfect. Now we have this one, which is the same thing that we did at the top. All right, remember what we did here? So all we have to do is just grab both of them and bring them downwards. All right, let's try to type in use strong passwords on every site. Full stop. I think that's perfect. Select both of them, put them in auto layouts, and then move them up. Let's bring them downwards a bit. Let's move this out and see what we have. All right, photo area, text alone. Without this, we're going to get rid of these two, so we don't need this two. We will not get rid of it. We'll just hide the colors. That's it. Perfect. Let's do this one. I feel like it's bigger, so let's fix this one. We're going to do browse with the confidence that you are staying safer online. Full stop. All right, I think this one is also big, but let's fix this one, then we can use that to replace this one. It's as simple as ABC. All right, to do this, and I think this ones are shorter, if I bring back my grid, my ruler, and I place that ruler here and here, it's shorter. Right, so we're going to fix that shortly. Let's see this other one where it stops. So this one feels like the same, but this one, so we're going to choose H3. Yes, that worked. Yes, I think it's H3. All right, yes, that worked. So what we're going to do now is change the distance to 0, and let's just make that 6. All right, let's see, this one is 4, that's why, but it's the same. It's actually the same. So with that, we're going to copy this, select this two, and we're going to press Shift plus Command plus letter arrow for rabbit. Right, we're going to press that, or you can right click and do paste to replace. So once we do this, select the top one, bring it downwards, and we have a checkmate. All right, that's it. Hide our ruler, Shift plus arrow to hide the ruler, Shift plus arrow to bring it back. With that, we'll move this out. We don't need that anymore. Delete that. We now have this and this, put it in auto layout, and then we're going to create a frame as usual, and we're going to put that frame across the element. Give it a stroke, and I'm going to check the time. This is 11:31. All right, so I'm going to bring this downwards. For the next one, this is going to be 2, so send this to the end. Then this is going to be the fast way to do things online. Yes, move that in, but first let's get that icon. I've seen that icon so many times, so I'm going to go and type in fast. Probably would find it. Yes, move it into here and type 36. That's it. Select this, get rid of it, move this into place, center that, delete this. This is a shape, So we're going to draw a shape end to end, give it a radius of 20, give it a stroke and give it a fill. The fill is footer gray, and then we're going to move this out of the way. Select this and this, put them in auto layout, and then we're going to create a fill which would be over them all. Right, give this white, and we have something else to do. So we're going to come over to this guy. We're going to do the same thing. So this is going to be built the browser. This is going to be out of there by Google. Go back to our icons, and it's good to choose your icons at the beginning of your project. So we're going to type in build or build, and there it is. Thank you, Google. 36. Get rid of this, get rid of this, move this into play. I feel like it's bolder, but yeah, what we have works. And then this one, we have this, but now we have a different layout. So what we're going to do is go back to the first one we created, this one, copy that, bring it down here, and just paste it here. For now we have this. Let's bring in our grid, and then what we're going to do is extend our grid this way, and then we're going to also bring it upward this way. All right, with this one selected, it's supposed to be with this other one. So what we're going to do now is we're going to select this and we'll give it a horizontal layout. All right, but let's remove the fill so that we can see what we're doing, if we're doing it right. Right, so the title and this one would align at the same parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the both of them. I'm going to say Ctrl+Shift+G to break it. I'll select this one and delete the other one, which is the learn more stuff, the hyperlink we had. And then I'll select this one, hold Ctrl and Shift, select this title over here. Let's hide the grid. Select this title over here, and I'll put both of them in auto layout. Yes. And now I'm going to change the positioning to vertical aligned. And we have this. Let's change this text so that it conforms. This is the search bar. This is in H3, so we're going to change it to H4. And that works. That works. The search bar, U space enter to go to the next line. You love build right in, full stop. Right, with this we can double tap here and it goes this way, and then with that we can select everything and change the distance between them. 64. Perfect. And then we can come up here and do fill container, and it fills up everything, and that is just perfect. Now we'll select this, and if we select this, we're going to run it from end to end. Perfect. Move this downwards this way, select the frame and reduce this some more. Yes. And then bring this frame downwards. Let's hide the fill so we can get this other one. This one, this is okay. That's 10. Move it this way, just enlarge it to the right, align top, bring it downwards, and that is done. Yes, let's give it a feel of white, and that is done. That's basically it. Select this and this, auto layout, frame. We still have the one below it, so let's break that for now. We need to do this one. So we have this ones, we're just going to grab them. I have this, I'm just going to grab this one, bring it downwards this way, and then move it to the right. Yes, so this one is the same, so we'll move it to this part. This one is also the same, so I'll duplicate this, Ctrl D, and I'll delete the last one. All right, select this two, change the distance to 50, which is our gutter size. We'll bring back our grid, the gutter, and then we're going to change the alignment to horizontal layout. Click on the horizontal layout, and we have this. Now if we bring this down, you're going to see that they are the same. It's basically the same. If we select this and remove the fill, we're going to see that that is perfect. The image stays in here, and that's that. All right, so we have this and this. This is 28 in distance, which is pretty inconsistent. So remember that the other one was 36, so we're going to select this two. We're going to choose 36 and then put both of them in auto layout, which is now perfect. And then we'll move this out to this point. You're wondering why I'm not deleting them, because we are going to add colors to them very soon, but that will be done tomorrow. It's already past my bedtime. So I'm going to move this upward, and then we're going to choose white. The good thing is you watch everything in one. All right, and the stroke would be black. Perfect. Remove the grid, and we have this. All right, now we have the footer to do. So this one, which is pretty much the easiest. So we're going to grab one of the text from here. Let's see if the text matches up. H3. We're going to type in frequently asked questions. Spread that out. Yep, that's perfect to me. Duplicate this. We're going to type in, how do I make Chrome my default web browser? That's really cool. And then we're going to check H5. Yes, that is perfect. Now we had an addition, but we can grab another one. So we're just going to type in add. It's fast, and then we can bring that to check. That's exactly what it is. Bring this downwards, select that, put them in auto layout. This is what we're going to do. We're going to move this out first. Let's bring that back. Bring that back into our frame. This is what we're going to do. Before you do this, I like to extend the text. So what I'm going to do, let me bring in my grid, so it's lapping on the grid like that. All right, perfect. And then this one is also lapping on the grid. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend this, drag the text out until it reaches this grid, one grid away from this. Then we can now drag it down, select both of them, put them in auto layout, align center. Right, that's perfect. And then this is where we play a trick. So the trick is to get this gray. You see the line. Let me fix this. You see these lines that show up here. We can do it in two ways. One, we can add a line to it, an actual line, or we can increase the height of this. So to increase the height, I would constrain this to the center and horizontal, and then I would just zoom into here so that I can see it when it gets to that line. increase the vertical padding. Let's give it a stroke, don't forget, and then increase this. That's perfect. All right, with that, what we're going to do next is we're going to duplicate it, select both of them, put them in auto layout, and now we're going to make that 1. So the spacing is going to be 1. Select 1, and then we can duplicate that multiple times to get the rest of them. Right, that seems perfect. Google is wrong and I'm right. Okay, so select all of them, press enter to give it a fill color of white. All right, and then once we have that white, we can now remove the stroke. We'll remove the stroke, and then you can see that fill, you can see that transparent color in between. You can see it already, but what we're going to do first is let's move this out to where it's supposed to be. All right, we'll select this guy and we'll give it a fill. Remember, all of them have a fill. If they don't have a fill, this is what it's going to look like. Now if we select this and give the entire container a fill, which is white, let's change it to something like gray so that it's visible. You're going to see it looks more like this, but when you press enter, you select all 4 of them, or you can select them one at a time, but I like to press enter to select everything at once. And you can give it white for now first, and if you give those inner one white, see what happens. We have that gray. You can see that gray coming out of it, and that's what we want to achieve. So I don't use lines anymore for things like this, because I can easily just duplicate this more and more, and I would have that line consistently instead of having to duplicate multiple things. I don't like doing things multiple times. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and that's perfect. Yes, so we would put this in a frame of its own. This is going to be in a frame somewhere around here. Give it a stroke, give it a white. I didn't do that well. Yes, let's do that again. Give that a fill, give that a stroke. What is happening? So let's select these two first, put them in auto layout, and then we'll give them a stroke. Yes, aha, that's perfect. Then give it a fill and a stroke. That's perfect. Now for this one, it's a bit tricky with the scan. So this is what we would want to do. We want to break this frame into 3. And the idea just hit me now. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to first of all get this part. This is going to be another frame, and this is going to be another frame. Or you can put this in absolute positioning, but to put everything in a frame, then it will be best we break it into 3. So let's do that first by having the initial frame. So I'm going to draw this frame. Let's bring in our grid so we ensure that everything is aligned to the grid. All right, give it a stroke and then multiply this by 20. We have that now. Remove our grid, we don't need that anymore. We'll get this text, move it into this, and this is going to be H2. This would be take your browser with you everywhere you go. All right, center that. Let's see, it's quite small. Let's try the yeah, we'll use this. It's quite bigger, but you know what, let's add another one. and that would be bold, and I'm using 46. So I'm going to call this H2 big. H2 bracket big, and it's 46. All right. Yes. So let's move that into header, and it's going to be under H2. Yes, and that's perfect. All right. So we have this other one. Just bring it in here, and then this is going to be B1, center aligned. It's going to be download Chrome on your mobile device or tablet, and sign into your account for the same browser experience everywhere. Let's reduce the size of this, something like this. Perfect. Select these two, put them in auto layout. Now we need this button. We have a button we've been using all this while, so we're just going to grab that one. It's completely different from this button, but we would use it as points. Yeah, this is going to be white for now. So this is also going to be white. Let's use this as a breakpoint. Just put everything in black. All right, center aligned, center aligned, center aligned, horizontally and vertically. And then let's get this. Okay, we're going to use 18. We're going to use 18 for the vertical layout and 34 for the horizontal alignment. And then the text is going to change position. This one is going to be download. So let's look for download. Yep, that's it. I'm going to change this to 24. Let's see. 24 is quite big. Let's try 20. Yes, 20 is perfect. And then we'll reduce the padding for this to 16 and the horizontal padding as well to 30. Break this out, and we're going to call this download Chrome. This button is quite small, so we would need a bigger button text. So first off, let's break this. So now we'll need another text. Download Chrome. Let's try semi-bold. And then we're going to call this button slash big. Yeah, button slash big. All right, we have that now. Let's put all the button together. Add folder, and we'll call that button. The other one will be small and the other one is big. Now we have all our elements inside of a group. So we have this two and this one center aligned. Give this a fill color, and like I said, this one now, all of them will be center aligned inside of the where they paste it back in here, center aligned. Yes. Let's give it a padding at the bottom. Yes, that's perfect. All right, so to get this guy, we are going to do this. Constraint to the top, and then let us increase that top 64, and then give it a stroke. We're going to do the part for the bottom, which is going to be 98. Then we're going to have a frame that goes to the end this way and this way. Give it a frame. Then we can draw a shape inside of the frame. Use this. This is going to be 10. Give it a stroke for now first, so we can get it. All right. Let's see. We'll just leave it at 10. All right, and this is going to be for that, and then we're going to have another one for this corner. Click it, delete that, select this and this, put them in auto layout. Perfect. Now we can select the main frame and ungroup that. With that done, we can select all of this and give them a radius of 20, and then clip content, and we can give it a general color. So the color for this is going to be white for now, and we're going to have a stroke, obviously, and then when we break everything, we will not have all of this anymore. Select this, bring it this way. All right, so we have this, and this is inside of this as well. Let's just bring this way. See what we can do. Bring back our ruler, position it this way, and then move this into this, and with that we can position it in our ruler, center aligned. Select this, drag it out a bit, and with that we can select these two, remove their stroke, select the middle one as well, remove the stroke, and it feels more like one. And that's that. You can see it's the same. All right, to give it this image, you can, let's give it a fill color first. You can come here and choose image and just upload this stuff as an image, or just move it into it as a frame. So I'll just select this, I'll give it a frame actually, and that frame is going to be 10, stroke fill, delete that guy from there. Perfect. All right, so we have that, and then the final part is the footer. We've come to the end. Wow, that was a long journey. So let's continue. I'm going to grab this, bring it over here. We're going to type follow us. They don't even need to tell us. They don't. So we're going to choose, I think this one. Yeah, this one works. Let's see the bolder version. Yes. So let's see if they have all of these icons. I'm going to choose fill to be on, and we'll type YouTube. That wasn't spelled right. YouTube. It has a plus sign. I don't know why, but we'll just leave it there. I'm going to type Twitter or X. We're not going to find that. Let's check Facebook. So they don't have all of these other icons. We'll just use this one, and would improvise. Just have this 3 times. Select all 3 of them, put them in auto layout. Distance is 21. We change it to 20. Select this one. Let's do something first. Put them in auto layout. Now we have that aligned better. Okay. Now let's work out this ones. We're going to go over to that hyperlink that we created. Yes, this, copy it, set it downwards, paste. Yes, this is out of the line. Yes, it works fine this way as well. So we're going to choose Chrome family and see if this works or not. This is B1. Let's use B2. Yes, B2 is better. Now let's use B3. Yes, B3 for the B3 for the win. Right, so we have Chrome family, and then we have the Chromebook. We're going to put this here. We're going to break this, select this, delete this one, type in other platforms, align left, yes, change this to text, change this to Chrome family, position at the top this way. Now for this one, we're going to select this and this, put in auto layout, select this, duplicate it 2 times, select everything, reduce the space by 16, perfect. Select this and this, put in auto layout, that's 30 in space. We're going to move this one, I'll position it here, and then one more, position it here, then one more, position it here. Select this, this, and this, and the distance is complete. Okay, put them in auto layout, select this one, duplicate it one more time. You know what will happen. I'm going to move this in, push this to the end, and then change that to auto. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. All right, some of them have more, so we would select this, duplicate it 2 times, select this, duplicate it, not that way, duplicate it 3 times. For this one has just 2, and let's just get the exact layout that they have. Move this in a bit, so we have this 2, and then we have these ones at the bottom. So we have Google, which I'm going to just type as Google. We have privacy, and terms. This is B2. About Google. Google products. Yes. Select all 3, put them in auto layout. Their distance is 24. Select this big guy, and I think we're going to make this guy 22. Yes, that's fine. Select it with this, enlarge it, change the spacing, something like this. Then we have these other parts. we're going to have help, which would come with an icon. Right, but let's position help first, and then we'll get the icon. This is the question icon, so you can type in question and you have it. But let's toggle this on. This is it over here, and then we're going to type in 20. Let's see, that matches. So send this out of the frame, bring it back in. Yes, center that. The spacing is 9. All right, and then we have this one. Let's hide our grid. Then we'll select this guy. Let's move him to the top first. Type English, United States. For me, I think this will be brackets. And then they have the drop down. What do we call this drop down here? Right, this will be 20. Remove this, bring this out, and position. Extend this text, align left, select this, auto layout. With these two, auto layout. And let's see. This is a tricky one. I want to get that stroke. So to get this stroke, I'll need to do a drop shadow. So I'm going to give it a white. I'll leave it for now. I'll need to get out a drop shadow for the stroke to match what we've been working with. So with that, select this one and this one, put them in auto layout. Right, let me be sure that is correct. Nope. Align. I want everything to align within the frame, and then we are done. Now that we're done with this, it's time to splash the colors. So the first things we want to do is bring out our sidebar, the UI. Once you have that on, then we can give this a color, which obviously would be white. It's white, so we take out the stroke for now. You know what, let's bring back the stroke. We're going to give it a gray color. So I'm going to choose, you're going to see this part under the stroke that says inside. I'm going to choose outside. Now the outside is for the stroke not to be within the frame. So if we increase the size of this stroke, you're going to see it would go or enlarge inside. Now we want it to enlarge outside. So we're going to choose outside, and if we do that, it enlarges outside. So that's basically what we're doing with this. So we're going to select this and choose outside. So it eliminates the top, the left, and the right. But what does it do? It will leave this part, the down part, and that's what we want to achieve. Let's select the second one, the footer, and then we'll remove the stroke. We won't be needing the stroke. We'll select the images, all of them, remove the stroke as well, just by clicking on the minus next to the stroke. And this one as well, we're going to select white. It's white, and then it's going to have, you know what, for this one, I'm going to use gray for now as a color, and then I'll eliminate the black. Cool, that looks really cool. Right, and then we can proceed to work on this one. So this one is going to be at the top. We're going to go to prototype, and we're going to change that from scroll with parents to fixed. By doing that, it would bring it on top. Whatever you move next to it would stay beneath it. Right, so since we have this, we can now work on the color, which I feel shouldn't be black. Not I feel, I know it shouldn't be black. We're going to try to choose that gray and see. Yes, it's not bad. It's not bad. We can see that the gray is there. There's a line. All right, and then we would also change this download, remove the stroke, and give it the primary blue. Let's use blue, and the text would be white. Cool, that's beginning to pick form. So let's scroll down and do same to other ones. Now we have these other sections which we would have to just put them side by side so that we kind of remember what we're doing. I mean the colors. So for this one, we're going to remove the stroke. All right, and the background will still be white. We're going to select this one, remove the stroke, and then the text is going to be blue. The content of the entire content inside is going to be blue. So I'm going to choose this style, click on the style and choose blue. That's it. And then the background is going to be the first features. So this one is feature 1. So we're going to choose blue. One of these blue. I don't know the one. I think blue 1. Let's see. That works. Let's do for this one, the automatic. So we're going to remove the stroke and then we're going to give it a blue. Let's try blue 1 for it. Yeah, I think that looks cool. And then this one as well, we're going to remove both the stroke and the fill. And then for this one, we're going to remove the stroke. And then we're going to choose this blue in here. I'll just use the eyedropper tool to pick that color. And that's it. Right. And then we can move to this one. We're going to remove the stroke. And then the background is the yellow. So we'll go to our features one, light yellow. And we have that. We would remove the color, stroke, and the background from this one. We already have this. So I even created one out here. So I'll just get rid of this one. We have this, so we can move on to the next one. Now, there are also colors that we have that are kind of faint. That is these other colors. So we may want to create one more color. And I'm going to try to pick this color. Yes, this is going to be our secondary color. So I'll just call it secondary. It's going to be for text. So choose style and choose and type in secondary. All right, it will always show up at the top. So let's just, or we'll just move it into footer and then send it to the top, because I see we're going to use it for a lot of places. So first place, we'll need to use it in this part. The one that is black, change that to secondary. Yes, that looks good. The navigation will also change that to secondary, all of it to secondary. Yes, and then this one and this one would also be secondary. Let's move on. We also have this section, remove the stroke from the background. The background is white. And then we have this one. Now this one is a gradient. So we're going to remove the stroke first off. We'll leave this one as black. It's AI. We did not choose the icon for AI, but that's fine. And then what we're going to do now is pick one of the colors. So we're going to pick the sharp blue. I'm just going to use the eyedropper. We'll select it. Once you select it with the eyedropper tool, you can pick that sharp blue. All right, and then click on the color in the fill, click on gradient, choose one of it, the down one, which is now darker. Would use the eyedropper tool and then would pick this side. Now all we can do is just rotate this to flow in this manner. We'll bring this a bit inside. And then you can change the icon for yours. Now that is done, we'll move to these ones. So we're going to delete the stroke and then choose. This is also still going to be under features 1. So we have light purple. I think that's it. Yes. For here, we're going to remove the stroke and the fill as well. And then we're going to change this to the primary blue. And then remove the stroke, and then the color on it is going to be white. With that, we'll just select it and paste it. Select this one, hold shift, select this one as well. Shift plus command plus letter arrow for rat. Press it and it's going to replace it on both of them. All right, we're going to do the same thing here, but this time we're going to invert the colors. So this is going to be, I'll just change that to yellow, and then the white is going to be blue, and then the yellow, it's now going to be white because of what would be on it. So for this, I'd like to draw a shape in here to represent what we have in this other one, and then round that radius, break this, give this 0, 0, and 0. Right, with this we can now pick this color. I'm just going to pick the blue, send it downwards, and then remove the fill and stroke from that color. Select the frame, remove the stroke, and then for the fill we're going to choose the light blue. I think we have it in features 1, light. Let's choose blue 2. Let's check out this one if blue 3 should work best. All right, remove the stroke and fill from this one. Yes, that looks good. And then this other one, we're going to pick blue, light purple, blue 1, and let's try the blue 1. Yes, and then we have this, but the color doesn't match, so I'm just going to select it and just pick this color. Select this one and pick this color. That one was accurate. This one, let's try. Yes, that one was also accurate. All right, so we have all of the colors here now. It's now time for us to add some imagery. We don't have an image for this one. For this ones, this is where the images are supposed to stay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use shapes instead. So we can just draw a shape around this, duplicate this, draw another shape this way, and then just move both of those shapes into this. Right, these shapes will be white, and then this one on top, we'll give it a stroke, give that a good amount of stroke, and then we're going to give it white. You know what, let's choose the background color. So we'll pick the background color, and that is it. We'll make that outside. Yes, and that's that. All right, that is cool. We'll leave the rest how they are. Maybe just do for this one because it's not so much. All right, extend it this way, duplicate it, shrink it some more, select both of them, remove the stroke. All right, this one is going to be blue, and then it's going to be a gradient. Right, you can now choose that soft color, then the blue as well is going to be a soft color. The height of this is going to be around 8. Let's try 8. Then we can duplicate that 3 times. All right, reduce this one and also reduce this one slightly. That's that. So there's just some form of imagery in them, so that's fine. And then we can move to the next part. This part, remove the stroke as usual. For this one, we're going to use an image, so I'll go up here and I'll go to on splash, and then we're going to search for an image in relation to what we have. But while that is loading, let's create this one. So I'm going to remove the stroke and choose that background color. And then for this one, I think we did not. Let's choose the red and see if that works out. Yes, it works out. All right, and this other one is going to be red, but a lighter shade. Yes, that's perfect. Now you can select that shape that you kept for the imagery. If you don't have the image downloaded, then we're going to go up here and type in mountain. Let's see if we'll find something similar. We definitely may find something similar, but you know what? I think the first one resonates a lot with me, and it's still within the colors of this branding. So I'm just going to remove the stroke, and then I also add it here. So choose that same color. So you can explore more. You can also change the orientation from portrait to landscape to all or square. In our case, it's landscape. All right, and then we can remove the stroke from this one and the fill. Yes, we have this now. That's perfect. We'll move to the next one. Remove the stroke, customize your Chrome. I will just pick an image for the background, this one. And I would hover a white shape around it, something like this. Center horizontally and vertically, make that 20 in radius, and then change the color to white. Select the image, remove the stroke and the fill color, and then for this one, and we have this and this. First things first, let's make that blue. We would hold shift, deselect the first one. The other ones, make that footer gray. Let's see. Yeah, it's still visible. You can make it lighter, more darker if you wish. For this one, I'm going to select an image here. I think I'll select this one. These landscapes are really, really beautiful. Select that one. And we have this. Remove the stroke and remove the fill, and then remove the stroke from over here. Now we have this, and then we can put in those circles. I would use a frame for that. I'll just draw a frame, 74 in height and width, completely round that, and then move it into a frame. Now this is what I was talking about. Now it's outside the frame. Let's choose this color. You can see it's outside the frame. Now you select this inner frame, and you see where it says clip content, unclip it, and that's that. Now you can position the rest of them. Let's do it the way they have it on Chrome. Can move this out this way. This will be yellow, this will be the green. Let's move this one over here. Right, this would be blue, and there would be white, but I'm going to choose another color somewhere around here, maybe not there. Let's pick something else. Let's see. Yes, that looks good. All right, then we can now put in icons inside of them. I'm just going to pick a random icon, and then if I paste it in one, let me see how that looks. Center horizontally, and then I'll pick that up and select the rest of them and just paste it inside of them. And with that, we can change the colors. I would select this one, then change the color, pick this color, this one as well, pick that green, yep. For this one, I'm going to select the background color, and then I would drag it downwards somewhere around here. For this, we're going to pick blue, a dark shade of blue, and that's that. That is that. Right, so let's proceed. We're going to work on the button. So select this button and select this one. Now with that selected, I'm going to remove the stroke, and then with the eyedropper tool, I'll just pick this color. All right, so no time to figure it out. Always stick to your own colors while you're working on yours. This one, I think I'm going to pick from this. I think we have a blue, and then the other one would be blue. All right, now we're on this area. Select this one, make that blue first off, remove the stroke, make this text white, remove the stroke from this and the fill, and then let's go grab our white initially, copy that, come up here, shift command arrow, replace that. We'll do it for this other one, shift command arrow, and then we would also select this other one, select both of them. You don't need to do them one at a time. Shift command arrow or shift control arrow, and that's it. Okay, so I have this already. I just posted this a while ago on Twitter, so we'll just drag it into our frame. Let's cut that. Copy that, come in here and paste. Come in here and paste it, center it and take it to the top. Select the frame, remove the stroke, remove the fill, select the frame itself, remove the stroke, and then let's pick that dark shade. I think we have this dark shade, so I'll go to the second one, and then the dark one is going to be white, and then we have these other colors. This one is going to have the gray because the background is white, so we're going to use footer gray, and this gray is not graying. Right, so I'm going to break this gray, and I would choose a different gray, just darken it, drag it downwards a bit, somewhere around E1, E1, E1. So we're going to call this outline. In our color style, I would call that outline. Right, I think we use that somewhere else as well. Maybe over here, just select the both of them, change that from footer to outline, so it's more legible. Yes. All right, so that's that. Remove the stroke from this one, select this one, and we're going to choose a different color from that feature 2. I think we're staying in feature 1, so we're going to pick blue 1. Yes, remove the stroke. Yes, that works. For this one, we're just going to lap some shapes. Make that 3, change it to white, duplicate it this way. Okay, enlarge it this way. Move it in, select all 3 of them, increase the radius a bit, maybe 6 or 8, and then this one we're going to give it a stroke outside, and then choose this blue, increase the stroke by 2 or 3 for now, and that's it. Reduce the size of this. These are input fields. This is 54, and this is also going to be 54. Just increase it from here. So that's 54. Close out this, we don't need it anymore. Let's see what we have. Speaking form. All right, down to this one. Remove the stroke. Select this, remove the stroke. We're going to, let's choose the green, we have green already, so we just choose green from here. And then this, remove the stroke. The main black would be green, so choose green. And then for this part, I think we have like a light green in feature 2. Light green, yes. Right. The next part, remove the stroke. The same thing, we'll select this, remove the stroke, we'll give that a light yellow. I think we have that yellow one, and then the inner part will be orange. Orange. All right, the first one here would be yellow, but the light yellow 2. Yes, remove the stroke, select this, remove the stroke as well, select this, make this white, remove this, make this white. All right, that looks good so far. I will do the same for this one. Remove the stroke, make that the other yellow, the yellow 3. Select this inner one, remove the fill and remove the stroke. And we have some imagery out here. I'll just copy that and I'll paste it in here. So if you're watching this video and you want me to share this template, yeah, just let me know and I would make that happen. All right, so we have this, and then we'll need to change this part. So to grab this, select this, Control Command this to change that. Select this other one. I'll do the same thing over here. Control Shift plus arrow, or Command Shift plus arrow if you're using the MacBook. All right, remove the stroke and the fill for this one. We have the logos here, and I'll drag them in here at the top somewhere here. Center that better, and then give this white our outline color. Right, we have some blue, some red, some green. I'll just leave that one, those ones for now. All right, so we're done with that part. Let's fix up this other part. So we'll select this, remove the stroke, we'll leave the fill. Now we're going to change the color. So this is the footer section. I think we have it at the top. Yes, footer gray, FAQ container. So FAQ container is this one. We'll select this. All of the black would be blue. All the black will be blue. And then we have the gray, which is behind the color. And then the white would also be the container color. So FAQ container. And that's that. Move on to the next one. I think the line in this one is a bit much, so we're going to put 0.5. Let's see how tiny that will look. Yes, this is good. And this one is H5. That's okay. H5 is 22. So H5 is 22 in size. And that's what we're using for this. Well, I think this is bold. Let me see. This is bold, so we'll make that semi bold. Yes, and then we'll add this to H5. So we're going to type in H5 brackets small, enter, and then we can move that into header under H5 small. All right, with that, select the rest of it, and we're going to make that H5 small. Perfect, just perfect. All right, select this one, remove the stroke, give the background a blue, change all the black to white, all the black to white. We're going to choose white, select this button. We're going to remove the stroke. We're going to make it completely blue. So this is how I change things like this. Okay, so I just got the exact one, which is fine. And then the background would put it at white. All right, that is fine. This one is going to be white, so we're going to choose white, remove the stroke, and we have the little tiny scan for the Chrome app. Double tap on this line, bring it into this frame, and we're going to give it the secondary color. We're going to make that smaller, so something around B2, which is 12. Let's see. I think something around 10 would be perfect for this one. Yes, I think that it works. We can go to another plugin, which is Iconify, which is where I found these icons. In case you're looking for them, you can type in things like Google Doc, Google Drive. Just ensure you know the icons. Google Drive, you find Google Drive here. You find the Google Mail, that's over there, and that's it. And we have this other one, Google Docs. So what we're looking for now is the scan QR. See if we find anyone. Yeah, we have some over here. I'll just pick one that is, yeah, this one. Change it to black, and then I can drag it outside. Close this and then move this into this frame. With that, I would make it bigger. So I would hold Alt after selecting the scale tool, scale, hold Alt, and then expand that this way. Yes, and then we can select the text and bring it downwards a bit. Select this one and just extend it in a bit. Select this. Yeah, so I'm going to break this, make the down part 0 and the down part 0, left and right. All right, I can see something happening there. Let me see. Okay, I see where the issue is from. So I'm going to go to the height and change it to fill container, and that would fill up that space. Okay, so we have that section done, and that's how it's supposed to be. And then we'll move to the final section, which is the footer. Remove the stroke, choose the footer color. We have it here, footer gray. All right, the rest of the item, we're just going to make them secondary color. We'll make all of them secondary color, and then we'll select the ones we want to make black, which would be the title and the social accounts. We'll select all of that and choose that text color. All right, and then the rest of it would be our secondary color. With that, we are actually done with this. We're done with this. There's a line here. Let me see what we can do to get this line. So I'm going to select this one. I'm going to select this one first off. Let's bring out our ruler, and then I'll mark where it is for this. I'll mark where this is as well, and then I'll mark where this, like all of them start, because I want to make an adjustment to this section. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this first one, and we're going to increase the height this way. Yeah, we're going to increase the height this way. We'll break it and make the top 0, and then we'll increase the bottom some more. Let's give it a stroke so that we can see what we're doing. And then yes, 56. That's perfect. We'll select this one, and we'll do the same thing for this one. We're going to break it, and then let's type in 80 and see where that gets to. All right, and then we'll send it one step below 68. We'll do the same for this one as well. We won't do the same for that one. We'll just select all of them, select all three, put them in auto layout, give them a spacing of 0.5 or 1, whichever one works for you, and then I would press enter and give all of them a white color for now. Remove the stroke. Right, select the entire container of the three of them. Let's hide our rulers now, we don't need them. And then I'm going to give it a fill color, but this time I'm going to make it darker so that we'll see what we're doing and we'll see what's left. So we'll select this one, come up to the resizing, and then we'll change that to fill container. It fill ups everywhere, and then with that we're going to have something like this. We're going to fix something quickly, but first off, let's get the background color. So we're going to choose this background color, which is the footer gray, and you can see that color popping out of this. Let's make that 1 so it's much more pronounced. Yes, so we need to change the distance of this one. This is footer gray. Yes, footer gray. And the colors on this will not be white, they will also be footer gray. Let me see. No, what color are we going to use? Let's use outline. Yes, outline worked. All right, so with that we're going to select this and we'll give it a line height at the top. Yes, something around this 40 should be fine. With this one, we would reduce this one as well, somewhere like 36. Let's use 36, and then this one also be 36. Let's see what we have here and here. I think the distance is still quite far. So from 36 to somewhere around 24. Select this one and also do 24. Yes. All right. This second one, reduce it as well to something like 48. This one is going to have its own line height as well. We're going to do the same thing, 24. So all of them will be 24, 24, 24. All right. And that is that. We're going to send this one downwards a bit. Select this, extend it a bit this way, and select the frame. With the frame selected, we can either do two things. Either we extend that or we press auto layout, and everything now is in an auto layout. With this, you can reposition your design. Maybe you want this one to be downwards and this one to be upwards, whichever way you want it. You can reposition the design that way. And with this, we've come to the end of this tutorial. I saw someone's comment and the person was like, I should make it responsive for mobile. I can do that easily. I think I will just link a video so that you can see that, because I don't want this video to be much longer. It's over 2 hours. This is exactly 3 hours of recording this video, and I'm trying to see how I'm trying to think about how I would edit it while trying to put the video out. So I have to do a lot of editing to cut it, and that will take more time for me to even do that, because I have to go through the entire 3 hours again. That's something I do. All right, so to make it responsive, you will need to ensure that everything is in auto layout, like this frame. All right, you ensure that it's in auto layout, like ours is in auto layout. So that way, when you transform this, let's move this out, zoom into it, and then if we try to make this a mobile view, let's select this, put them in auto layout, this, put them in auto layout, select this, click auto layout, and then we're going to change this to 390, which is the size for mobile. And then once we do that, we would have to now adjust this. So first thing, change the padding to 20 and the line height to like something like 80 for now. And then we're going to select the second one and we'll change that to horizontal layout. Once you do this, you would have to do a lot more things. All right, so first things, let me just fix this one for you guys. We're going to select this. We'll change this from hog to fill container. That is what we're aiming for. We'll select this and also do fill container. Press enter. You can do that again. Fill container, and you're going to have this. This is also going to be fill container, and we're going to change the alignment to horizontal. Right. For this, we're going to do the same thing. Fill container for everything. Press enter and do that fill container again. All right. If we press enter again, we can do fill container. Okay, this one, we'll just make this, put this at the center. We'll change the padding for this from 50 to somewhere around 20. Right, the text size would also change. So we'll press enter again, and I'll do fill container. Why I'm pressing enter is to select the elements, the content, that's the text in there. I don't want to have to select them one at a time. So I can press enter again and do fill container, and that has been fixed. All right, we can extend this one. I think it was extended which way? Yes, align right, and then move this in a bit, and then we can drag this back. So with that, the next thing you would now do is to work on the font sizes. All right, and the layout. Like for this one, is not going to be centered, it's going to be left aligned. So if we come here, then we'll align this to the left. Yes, and that is basically how you design for mobile. So you're going to do the same thing for the rest of them, and you're going to get something really good for the mobile. So you have to do the padding, you have to change the font size, and then you also have to change the layout. Why we made it 2 on a layout is because there's more room, but on mobile you don't have that much room, so you have to change that spacing. And that's how you can do this. Now you can use the information or knowledge from this. I would upload this on the Figma community, so you can use the knowledge to design whatever you want to create. So this is basically how I started my journey. I started by recreating a lot of designs. I did quite a lot of things, and also hard stuff. So that actually helped me understand some of the concepts in regards to colors, in regards to typography, components, styling, the grid system. So using that consistently also helped me master it. Let's fix this. Okay, I know why that's happening. Yes. If we change this to absolute positioning, yes, select this one and increase it a bit this way. That will give us, yes, that's it.